All right, let's get my battery acid going. Hello everyone. Today I have my November favorites video for you. I was like, what month is it? I missed September and October, sorry. And to be honest, I feel like I've almost reached a point of being slightly overwhelmed with just how many new launches there are, how many brands that I've been, you know, kind of looking at for a few years that are kind of reaching out now. So it's just a lot. And like with like a vitamin C serum, for example, I really only like to use 1 or 2 at a time when I'm testing them, because you can tell immediately if the texture is right or not. But if in order to see a difference in your skin, I mean, you need at least a month really. So it's tricky. I have noticed there have been just a few kind of disappointments recently, which I do want to include in this video. And I think I actually want to do a least favorite of 2021 because I haven't done anything like that in a while. So what do we do? Should we mix in the good stuff with the bad stuff? Yeah, let's alternate between the two. So let's start with something that I was very excited to see launched. And that is the Flower Beauty Warrior Princess Mascara in Snow Queen, which is quite literally a white mascara, not a primer, a white mascara. And when I saw the promo image of Drew Barrymore wearing it, I immediately was like, yes. It might seem like a very niche product, and in fact it probably really is. It's really quite rare to find a semi-inexpensive kind of high fashion type of product, right? Whether it's like a blue lip gloss or like a really unusual loose pearl powder or whatever. It's becoming rarer and rarer to find these types of products because everything feels like an iteration of something else that already exists. How many more neutral palettes do we really need? Warm neutrals at that. So I was really excited to see this. It works really well. And in fact, I actually picked up their regular Warrior Princess in black, and I don't even like it as much. I like the white one more. I think it's limited edition, so I might have to get a few more tubes. I didn't want to start with the video with it on because I wanted you to be able to see in real time how it looks. Let's go ahead and dive in. The brush is kind of on the larger side. It's like a hourglass shape, like your Lash Paradise from L'Oreal, that sort of thing. But I just want to show you how opaque it goes on. Now we'll go in for a second coat where the magic really happens. I mean, 1 coat is fine, but I think 2 coats really gets it done. And I normally wouldn't coat like the upper side of my lashes, but I usually do with this just to kind of give it the full effect. And I know I'm like smudging all over the place. I can clean it up in a minute, but oh, I love it. It's, oh. And it kind of reminds me of that, what was that America's Next Top Model shoot with, I think it was Jade's season, where they were in like the freezer or whatever, and everyone had like white lashes or like fake ice on their brows. And that is pretty solid for a $10 white mascara. And I just applaud Flower Beauty and Drew Barrymore for taking like a risk, you know, and putting out a product that is polarizing. And I think the biggest question might be why, and my question, or my response is why not, you know? I just think it looks so cool. And I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's mine. It's my shot of whiskey, and I will be having that. Thank you. So yeah, that is easily my favorite product of the month. Next, we move into, okay, let's do a miss. Okay, so this is something I was really excited to launch, and I've actually been trying a lot of the products from this brand this year, but I'm so let down. The Youth to the People Superberry Dream Cleansing Balm. So I've been really enjoying the Youth to the People products I've tried this year, and in fact I have another Youth to the People product that I really loved. But what's a little frustrating for me is the marketing and the claims really don't match up to the user experience. So on the front it says flash melting formula. When I tell you you have to sit there and massage and massage and massage this cleanser into your skin just to get it to break down, it's exhausting. The other thing is that it's kind of a crumbly texture. So you go to scoop it out of the jar and it just kind of, you see how it's kind of like crumbling up, and it's like almost like cold butter. right? That's the other thing. You have to use more product than you would traditionally use with a cleansing balm in order to get it to start breaking makeup down and to start melting down, you know, from like a balm to an oil, which is fine. Like if this were aimed as like a massage cleansing balm that's designed to stay on your skin for as long as possible, great. Because there are balms out there that exist like that, right? But it's not. It's claiming to be like a rapid melting, easily breaks down makeup, but you kind of really have to work with it. And I just think there are other cleansing balms that cost either the same or less money, that are so much easier to use, so much less time consuming, that it makes it hard to justify the, what, $34 that they're asking for this? Okay, the first time I tested this, I rinsed it, left a little bit of residue, so I took a cloth and it still left like a waxy residue. Not a buttery, oily, like moisturized feel, but almost like you didn't get all of the cleanser off. I've really only seen like Despina from Desidoll kind of give like an actual honest review about this and say that like it's finicky, it's nice if you want to leave it on in the shower as like a, you know, protective masks from the steam and things like that. But for how it's positioned, it's just, it doesn't live up to its claims. And I've just seen so many positive reviews and it's like, are we using the same product or are you lying? You know what I mean? I would much rather have like the Then I Met You cleansing balm. I really like that one. So actually let's, on the other end of the spectrum, the Mandelic Acid Superfood Unity Exfoliant is phenomenal. I had some friends ask like, what did I think of this? And without hesitation, I said like, this kind of makes my Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid look a bit antiquated. If you know me, if you've been watching for any number of years, that's a product I've been using since like 2014, and it's sort of irreplaceable in my routine. Whereas this takes all of the things I love about the Paula's Choice, the 2% salicylic acid, the kind of fluid texture that's almost like a toner, and it just elevates it even more. It includes 3% mandelic acid and 1% PHA or polyhydroxy acid. And that combination I think is really great for someone who's dealing with hyperpigmentation and or active blemishes. The salicylic acid is going to really unclog it, and the mandelic is really great at fading you know, hyperpigmentation and spots left over. So I can use this the way I would use my Paula's Choice, which is right after shaving to prevent any ingrowns from forming. And even though it has an AHA in it, it doesn't sting because I think the mandelic molecule is just a little bit too big. If it were a glycolic, it would sting, it would burn my face, but it doesn't. They really hit the nail on the head and did a really great job with this. So really loving it. Plus the really great flip cap that it comes with, super user-friendly. I don't think I'll ever stop using Paula's Choice, but this is definitely like solid competition. Okay, next we have a miss, and that's the La Roche-Posay Hyalu B5 serum. I got a package from La Roche-Posay maybe 2 months ago, and I've been loving everything that's in there. The Double Repair Moisturizer, the Cicaplast Balm, the Lipicar Wash has been amazing. This is the only disappointment. Texture's great, it absorbs beautifully, it really does feel like it quenches your skin, but the scent I just cannot get into. It smells very like perfume. It smells like McDonald's pickles on the onset, and then it fades into like Glade Plug-in Ocean Breeze. Not the jam. And my guess is they added it to cover up the natural aroma of the ingredients that they're using. Because it's such an obvious scent and because it lingers for so long, it just is like, I can't get into it. You know, even though everything else about it is great, it's just the fragrance for me. And I think at $30, I think they charge for this. Like there are plenty of other $30 hydration serums that have less fragrance and, you know, perform just as well. Wah wah. Next we have a hit, the NIOD Fractionated Eye Contour Concentrate. Still only just started using this, so I don't have like a super solid opinion on it just yet. But the thing I really like about this is it is a true like liquid serum that you can use on the under eye, you can use on the lid, you can use on the 11s. You know, a lot of eye treatments don't really sit well on the lid because they tend to have a lot of moisture, so they travel. Whereas a serum like this will just kind of absorb straight into the skin, almost has like a temporary tightening effect. And then you can either layer your eye cream on top on your lower, your under eye area, or just kind of leave it and do, you know, whatever afterwards, your regular moisturizer, your sunscreen. Just a whole ton of peptides, marigold extract, zinc salt biocomplex, just like a really great high performance eye treatment. And again, it's still too soon to say whether or not I've noticed a difference, but the texture, the application, everything is super enjoyable. So it makes me very hopeful for the results. So that's the NIOD. And then Okay, so I got contacted by DS and DURGA. They had seen that I had mentioned quite a few of their candles in some of my content, and they wanted to send through their newest fragrance, which is Grapefruit Generation, which I had to pinch myself because I love DS and DURGA, and to get, you know, product from them is really exciting. And I really like the fragrance, but it just doesn't perform the way that all the other DS and DURGA fragrances I have do. It definitely doesn't lack longevity. Like, I sprayed it on my jacket one day and then like a week later I could still kind of smell it. But the problem is it does not have the, I guess, the long wearing projection that all of the other DS and DURGA fragrances I have do. So it's a really unique blend of cork, grapefruit, tuberose, I think there's a elm leaf in there, and then some silver. And you do get like a camphoraceous, slightly medicinal kind of cooling aroma, which is very interesting. Like, and then the tuberose starts to come out. The grapefruit is always kind of there hovering above the top, so you do get that kind of slightly bitter citrus. Hi, Editing Chris here. I just noticed that grapefruit's actually listed as a base note on the DS and DURGA website, so I don't know if that informs how it kind of smells to you, but just know that there's a thread of grapefruit that's kind of ever present. But I would say the tuberose is kind of what I smell the most, which is not a bad thing, but I don't know, maybe it's the fact that grapefruit is such a fleeting aroma on its own that to try and build an entire fragrance around it probably is really hard. So I have to, you know, obviously give them credit, but it just performs more like a Jo Malone for me, you know? And this size, the 50 ml bottles retail for what, $175? And for kind of cologne performance, I just expect more. Especially knowing that like all of the other samples I've tried of their fragrances and the full size bottles I've purchased, like they all just have incredible staying power and projection and sillage. Who knows, maybe you smell this and you absolutely love it and it's worth it to you, and you know, you go for the big bottle and you treat it like a cologne and kind of reapply throughout the day. But for me, like, it's just not something I would spend my own money on. I would much rather have one of the other DS and DURGA fragrances. So, but nonetheless, very glad to have been able to smell it, and I will definitely continue to use it for sure. It's already starting to fade. Anyway, on the other end of the spectrum, I placed an order during their sample sale a few months ago and picked up some of their candles. So I was actually finished a few of them. I had smelled this Breakfast Leipzig in their store about 2 years ago, and I decided to give this one a try, and I'm just very glad I did. Oh my God. Just opening that box, like, if you've ever smelled the Quaker cinnamon and spice oatmeal, kind of has that going for it, but there's also like a little bit of an almond vibe and a little bit of like a leather and tobacco, with the tobacco kind of having a almost fruity sweetness and then the leather being nice and kind of warm. But again, it's that almond pastry. So good. It's gourmand without smelling like, you know, vanilla cupcake, and it's warming and invigorating without being just like straight up spice. Such a great candle, and honestly I think their candles are far and away more worth it than like a Diptyque or a Byredo. I think the scents are more unique. The wax always burns beautifully. These glass jars are so well made. They have sample sales about twice a year, so you have to jump on it quick. Things will sell out, but it's one of the few brands where I actually really will go out of my way to buy stuff from sample sales because I love the brand so much. So that's Breakfast Leipzig. Back to something that wasn't great. Okay, so this is hard to talk about, but I got sent both products from this brand called BASK Sun Care, and this was they call it a clean reef safe sunscreen, SPF 30, sweat and water resistant. And I tried it, really liked it. I liked the scent. It's like your classic kind of banana boat, coconut, very, you know, summery. But my only problem is it's a little bit expensive. It's $28 for this, which it is a 4-ounce tube, but because it reminds me so much of like the vacation lotion in terms of scent and application, and then in terms of just application and finish, the Black Girl sunscreen, which y'all know I really love. This one is what, $17.99? The Vacation's $20 and this one's $28, and it's a sticker. The label's a sticker. I get it, it's a small brand, so it's kind of hard to say like, it's just a little expensive for what it is, but it is a little expensive for what it is, which is just essentially a moisturizing, water-resistant sunscreen that smells you know, summery. It's not like you'll have a bad experience if you get it, but I just think, I don't know. Which again, kind of pains me to say, because you know, I would always rather support a small, independently owned brand than a L'Oreal, even though I did kind of mention a L'Oreal. I would much rather have these two than this one. So kind of hurts me to say, but I'm not gonna be dishonest, So next we have, let's talk about something that I have kind of mixed feelings about. I think that's a good bridge between the two, right? So I've been using this brand OLURA. They have the device called the Eno, like Brian Eno, I guess. It's a dual-ended facial device that has an exfoliating side on one end. So, you know, that kind of metal scraper that you might have seen. And then the other end is like a pulsating kind of sonic massager almost. There was an issue where this side of my device broke. Like I would turn it on and it wouldn't make this like vibrating noise. It wasn't really moving. So they replaced it, which I'm very thankful for. And it works just fine now. But my thing is I really only use this side, and this side is highly effective. Like I cannot explain to you just like the night and day difference that it makes on your nose. And I will say the co-founder, Kyoko, was very clear in saying that this is an exfoliator, not an extractor. So you want to use it on damp skin, you want to go kind of gentle. And if you have like really deeply embedded kind of blackhead, this is not designed to get it out. It's just designed to exfoliate. But if you do a salicylic wash beforehand, you have a warm kind of cloth in your nose, it does an amazing job at getting all of the gunk out of your nose area. Other end, which is just like a sonic kind of infusion, which does warm up, I just don't use very often. And my issue is that it only really works with milky textured serums. Other issue I have is that the brand does not sell this device on its own. You do have to purchase their kit, which includes sort of 3 introductory skincare products. So they have this like refreshing essence that you're supposed to spray on before you use the exfoliating side. And then you're supposed to use the treatment serum with the kind of pulsating side to infuse it into the skin. And that works beautifully because this is such a milky textured serum. And then afterwards, you're supposed to use like the moisturizer to kind of, you can either use it with this or without, but it doesn't really infuse it as much as it just kind of massages your face. So I've tried this with a ton of the other serums I have in rotation, and it really only works with something that almost feels like a, you know, a super light moisturizer, which does kind of limit, you know, how this works with your existing skincare routine. And I have to say, I'm not all that impressed with the skincare products that they've included. Like, I like the serum for the texture. The moisturizer's fine. I really don't like this refreshing essence. It just leaves a really gross, sticky film on the skin. Not cute. It's just, I don't know, but it's weird. Like they give you the bottle, it's halfway empty, and then it comes with like these boosters that you add into the serum, and then you add into the moisturizer that you kind of pick based on your skin needs or whatever. You take a quiz. Even when you add the boosters in, it still is not a full bottle of product. And I think the best way I can describe it is I think the whole thing is just over-designed. I think they would be much better off just having this device and maybe, you know, a treatment serum or two. But I just, honestly, I don't use the other skincare. I just don't feel like it's that special. I just feel like it's almost like a missed opportunity. Like someone might really want the device, but if they see they have to buy the skincare with it, it's gonna be a bit of a turnoff, you know? Especially for someone who's already investing money in their skincare. That's where I'm at. I mean, it's like, I think it's like a $250 system, so not cheap at all. And I don't know, I think if they just sold the device for like $150 or something like that, it would be easier to justify. But that extra $100 to have some products that I just don't really like is like, I don't know, I don't think I would personally spend that money, to be honest with you. Okay, I think the rest are just products I've been really enjoying, so hopefully that should make things a bit easier. Let's talk about this. This is the Versed Autosave Advanced Restoring Serum. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. It feels much more expensive than it actually is. It uses ingredients that you really used to only be able to find from, you know, your cosmeceutical brands like your SkinCeuticals, your Perricone, whatever. It has Floritin, ferulic acid, vitamin C, and iron oxides as well, which are thought to aid in protecting from visible light. I'm not personally worried about blue light. I don't think you really should either. I mean, I guess it's cumulative, but I would just be more worried about, you know, using retinol and then going out in the sun. It has that signature ferulic acid scent, which I almost appreciate because it just makes me feel like, okay, they haven't thrown, you know, a bunch of orange oil in there to try and cover it up. But it's a beautiful texture. Let me show you again. It's like a beautiful milky texture, like a milky gel, absorbs almost instantly, feels really nice and hydrating and plumping. I think this is a great way to kind of like protect your investment. If you're using, you know, retinoid at night and you're using peels a few times a week, like you obviously want something during the day that's really focused on antioxidant protection. That will in turn also help your sunscreen to work a little bit better. So I just think they did such a good job with this. I think it's $24.99, which compared to the $60, $70, $150 that you might spend on a Floritin and or ferulic acid treatment elsewhere, absolutely worth checking out. Another serum that I'm actually really surprised about is the Herbivore Cloud Jelly Serum. I've tried a handful of Herbivore products over the years, and honestly, most all of them have been average at best. Like, there was a while where I really liked the lapis oil, but then I started to realize that it's kind of expensive for what it is and what it does. So I wasn't actually expecting to like this that much. And I did see a post from Maddie from VSolid on Instagram, and she said that when they say plumping, they like are not kidding, it's extremely plumping. And I actually found that to be the case as well. You apply it and like any kind of superficial fine lines you have from dehydration just takes care of, and it just feels really quenching. It's like a jelly kind of serum. You can see it runs a little bit, but you just massage it in and oh, it feels so good. Just like that immediate quench, hydration, plumpness. Such a great texture, super effective. And you do feel, again, hydrated, which I think for me and hydration serums, if it doesn't do that, like what is the point? So yeah, I have to check. How much is this? $48 though. Kind of expensive. Interesting. Would I pay $48 for this? I mean, you know my answer is always going to be no, just spend $29 and get Jordan Samuel Hydrate Serum. Like, that's all you need. But listen, you're shopping at Sephora, you need a good hydration serum. You don't mind spending the money. Like, it's really good. But it's not like there aren't other really good hydration serums out there for a little less money. Okay, just a few more items. Speaking of, again, quite surprised. I polled everyone on Instagram stories, like which products from the INKEY list that they've tried and really liked. And the overwhelming response was the succinic acid spot treatment and the oat cleansing balm. And of course, me being super defiant, I didn't request either of those items, but I did request the polyglutamic acid, which is also highly recommended, fulvic acid cleanser, and this, the peptide moisturizer. I really like this. Like many products from the INKEY list and The Ordinary, you really only get peptides and that's it. Like, it's just a very basic moisturizer with some peptides added in. But your serum already kind of takes care of the majority of the work for you, and you just need a nice moisturizer with a little bit extra in it. You can't go wrong with this, you know? It's, I think, $16. It comes in like a nice airless jar packaging. Texture's really nice, which isn't necessarily always the case with a lot of these single ingredient brands, you know, like The Ordinary and the INKEY list. It's like a light medium weight, so I think, you know, it would work well for day and or night and for most skin types, unless you're super oily. Again, like moisturizer I think should be more utilitarian than anything, but if you have a good moisturizer that has a few extra things added in, like peptides or whatever, it can't hurt, you know? And I think, you know, maybe you're looking at something like the Drunk Elephant Protini or even like a Kate Somerville peptide cream. If you just kind of want to experiment with peptides and you don't want to spend a ton of money, this could be a great way to do it. Few more items. OSEA Sea Minerals Mist. I've tried a few products from this brand over the years, but this is always one that's been I've been curious about. If y'all know me, you know I love anything to do with trace elements and minerals from the ocean. Something I learned in school is like, in terms of like salt content, minerals and trace element content, ocean water is most similar to human blood. So that's why a lot of people find spending time in the sea is really great for their skin, really just great for their health overall. For me, like, I just noticed such a huge difference when I use products with trace elements in them. Like immediately it just calms my skin down and gets it back to normal. So this one has, I think, fermented versions of some of those ingredients, not unlike your Amoravitza Queen of Hungary. That also, I think, improves bioavailability, so it actually absorbs into the skin a little bit better, and you actually can reap those benefits. Dead sea salt, Saccharomyces copper ferment, manganese ferment, zinc ferment, aloe vera, a little clay, a little neem extract. So really nice, just like daily soothing hydration balancing mist. Good for all skin types, very little scent. I mean, I don't smell anything at all. So yeah, if you like Queen of Hungary mist and you're okay with not having that beautiful neroli scent, I think this could be a very similar school of thought and product performance. So definitely worth looking at. And then last but not least, this KLUR Unseasonal Kind Essential Lipid Replenishment Oil. I tweeted a few months ago that like if there's one category of skincare that's completely oversaturated, it's facial oils. I just feel like there are so many of them, and so many of them are quite literally just a blend of 2 oils and a little vitamin E as an antioxidant for the formula. That's it. Or a little, I don't know, rose extract or whatever. So the interesting thing with this is it's designed to be almost like a, sort of like a serum. Leslie, the founder of KLUR, actually sent me a lot of the research she was doing behind this, and there's some research to suggest that vitamin E and CoQ10 in particular are the vitamins and enzymes that actually deplete the most with age. So this is vitamin C, CoQ10, vitamin E, all designed to really protect your skin and replenish. I like that it's a 20 ml bottle, so you can actually finish it before it goes bad, because with oils, you know, you're using what, 2 to 3 drops at a time. So it's a really beautiful golden color. 1, 2. It does come with like just a regular cap, but they also include the pipette with it. So I really like the approach. I like the school of thought behind this. I like that it's designed to be more of it's not like it's like just a plain facial oil. It really is a treatment housed in an oil. It's really liking that, the KLUR Unseasonal Kind. And I think that's everything. I know I mentioned at the beginning of this video that it's becoming increasingly hard to just keep up with all of the launches and new brands that are coming out. And at the same time, I feel like brands are just getting better. It's almost harder to find bad products now, which I think is actually a good thing. But I do think people can just be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of choices, myself included. Yeah, so hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully you enjoyed. I have a few more videos planned before I start doing end of the year wrap-ups. Yeah, I would love to know what products you're loving this month. I'm gonna try to get this up by the end of this week, so the day after Thanksgiving. But yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below. And until my next video, I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.